life of ease and comfort, or you can choose a life of service and adventure.
The beauty of stocks is they do sell at silly prices from time to time. That's how Charlie and I have gotten rich.
I started NetSuite. NetSuite was my idea. I called up Evan Goldberg and said, okay, we're going to do ERP on the internet, as software as a service.
You had that third failure in a row. Did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up. I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated.
Let's start with perspective. Imagine this circle represents $1 million. This is what $10 million looks like. Now, this is $100 million. And finally, this is $1 billion. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, has a net worth of over $200 billion, which is more than 200 times this final circle. Bernard Arnault, who controls LVMH, sits on about $195 billion. Elon Musk, running Tesla and SpaceX, hovers around $245 billion, the highest of them all. Warren Buffett, the investing legend, has roughly $135 billion. Larry Ellison, co-founder of Oracle, holds over $140 billion. Amancio Ortega, the quiet force behind Zara, sits at $105 billion. These are numbers so large they almost stop making sense. And then there is you. You might be working a job you studied years for, the one tied to a degree you're still paying off. Maybe you have little to no savings, and your bills feel endless. Rent, groceries, gas, student loans, credit card debt. Your paycheck feels like it vanishes before the month is halfway done. The dream of owning your own home, traveling without guilt, or driving the car you've always wanted feels almost impossible. For many, real wealth is a fantasy, a game designed for someone else to win. You look at these billionaires and think, they were lucky, they inherited it, they cheated. You may even believe they are somehow evil for having that much, while so many have so little. Meanwhile, you feel stuck, trading your time for money, watching the clock and wondering why the gap between you and them only grows wider. But what if you're wrong? What if there is a way to see money differently? To understand why these billionaires play a completely different game than you, and how you could start seeing money the way they do. By the end of this video, you'll know the blueprint. But be warned, this path is not easy. It will challenge how you see work, risk, and value. It will force you to question the lessons school and society drilled into you. And for most people, that's enough to quit before they ever get started. Still here? Then let's begin. First, ask yourself, what do you really think money is? Do you believe it's earned through hard work? Do you see it as something inherited, something for the lucky few? Do you see it as the root of all evil? Or do you just see it as a tool to get more things? Most of us have ideas about money shaped entirely by how we were raised. If you grew up in a home where money was always scarce, you might believe wealth is out of reach. Or you might swing in the opposite direction and spend your whole life chasing it to avoid that scarcity ever again. The truth? Most people have it wrong because no one ever explained the rules. Schools barely teach it. Parents can't pass down lessons they never learned themselves. Meanwhile, billionaires operate by a different equation entirely.
What a company stands for is key over time. I mean, we talk at Berkshire Hathaway all the time about building culture, and culture counts. And you can't do it in a day or a week or a month. I mean, it takes time, but it's a terrific asset when you get it. And we will be building, we already have.
Hollywood doesn't help either. Movies love to paint the wealthy as corrupt, greedy, or cruel.
Hey, that's my dress. Sir, what are you doing?
Taking, buy yourself a new one.
So when you see someone like Bezos or Musk, the gut reaction is to believe they stepped on everyone to get there. But reports like WealthX paint a different story. Among people with over $30 million in net worth, roughly 70% built it themselves. Jeff Bezos didn't inherit Amazon. Musk wasn't handed Tesla or SpaceX. Bernard Arnault, now the king of luxury, built his empire by buying struggling brands and reinventing them. Warren Buffett started with a failing textile company before turning it into a holding giant. So, why do they succeed while most don't? The answer is simple, but it isn't easy. Most people see money through one equation. Money equals salary from a job. You work, you get paid. Go to school, get a degree, get a job, and hope to climb the ladder for a raise every couple of years. The problem is that this formula caps how far you can go. There are only so many hours in a day, and once your time is traded for dollars, your earning potential is fixed. Let's say you earn $25 an hour, working 40 hours per week. It would take nearly 20 years to earn $1 million. That is, before taxes, bills, or inflation. Living frugally, you might reach $1 million late in life, but most of your time would be gone. And time, not money, is the one resource you can never buy back. This is why billionaires do not follow this equation at all. That's why people are turning to scalable systems instead, ones that work even when they aren't. One of the simplest ways to start is through YouTube automation, where income is built around content, not hours worked. Matt Parr's Tube Mastery and Monetization course teaches exactly how to set up faceless channels using repeatable systems, so you can create streams of income that grow on their own. Thousands of creators are already using it to escape the time for money trap, building something that can scale instead of relying on a paycheck. You'll find the link in the description. But what about the billionaires at the top? How do they view money in a way most people never learn? Well, they focus on something different: perceived value. In a capitalist society, money flows to those who provide the most value to the market. The market isn't just Wall Street or investors. It's people like you, your friends, your family, entire countries of consumers. Jeff Bezos didn't become the richest man by working harder than everyone. He became rich because Amazon solved problems millions of people had. Shopping without leaving home, lower prices, fast delivery, access to products that local stores didn't have. People valued that convenience so much that billions of dollars flowed into Amazon.
And that's why I always warn people, customer obsession is not just listening to customers. Customer obsession is also inventing on their behalf, because it's not their job to invent for themselves.
Elon Musk followed the same principle. He didn't just build electric cars, he solved problems. The auto industry was stagnant and people wanted cleaner, faster, and more innovative vehicles. Tesla delivered that. SpaceX? He solved the staggering cost of space travel by creating reusable rockets, turning billion-dollar launches into a fraction of the cost. Those solutions made his perceived value massive. Warren Buffett took another approach. His skill wasn't building products, but finding undervalued companies and investments, spotting opportunities others ignored. By solving the problem of capital allocation, he turned Berkshire Hathaway into a financial giant worth hundreds of billions. Larry Ellison saw a corporate problem. Businesses needed better software to manage data. Oracle delivered databases and systems that saved companies time and money, and the world rewarded him. Bernard Arnault took a crumbling luxury market and transformed it by acquiring struggling fashion houses, breathing life into Dior, Louis Vuitton, and countless others, creating a network of brands people could not resist. Amancio Ortega spotted the need for fast, affordable, and fashionable clothing. Zara became the answer. Each of these billionaires has one thing in common. They stopped chasing money and started chasing problems.
Try to learn as much as possible that allows you to predict the future or make the future. So the saying is the best way to predict the future is to make it. And then assess whether what you're learning is enabling you to predict the future with less error. Are you less wrong? We're always wrong to some degree.
This is the first shift you need to make. Stop asking, how can I make more money? And start asking, what problems can I solve that people care about? Because the bigger the problem, the bigger the payday. Solve a $1 million problem and you can make millions. Solve a $1 billion problem and you can make billions. But solving problems alone isn't enough. The solution must be scalable. If you open one restaurant, you're limited by location, staff, and local demand. If you turn that restaurant into a franchise, now it can expand across cities and countries. If you create software, once the code is written, it can be sold millions of times with almost no extra cost. Scale is why Amazon became unstoppable, why Tesla dominates, and why Oracle still runs the backbone of countless businesses.
My question is about converting the successful small businesses into large enterprise. I have a good and successful small business. Last few years, I'm unable to grow it to the next level. It seems like there are some components I'm missing, so wanted to take your advice on it.
A small business at one time, it just takes time. It's the nature of compound interest, and you can't build it in one day or 1 week. So, we've never tried to do in some master stroke, convert Berkshire into something 4 times as large. People have done that sometimes in business, but we kept doing what we understood and did it consistently and had fun while we were doing it, that it would be something quite large at some point. But there's nothing magic. It'd be nice to attract a whole bunch of money into some great idea you have and, multiply it many-fold in a few weeks or something of the sort. But that has really not been our approach. We've just done, in a general way, we've done the same thing. Now we do little variations of it. But we kept doing the same thing for years, and we'll keep doing it. We will have more businesses a few years from now than we have now. And we'll have all the ones we have presently. Most of them will do better. Some won't.
Now, before you think this is out of reach, remember, every one of these billionaires started by solving a single specific problem. Bezos sold books online. Musk built Zip2, a simple online city guide, before PayPal. Buffett started with a failing textile mill. Arnault bought Dior when it was bankrupt. Ortega sold bathrobes in his living room. They could solve one problem well and scale it. The empire came later, after they proved they could solve one problem well and scale it. Once you have a solution that works and can scale, the next step is automation. Billionaires know that building wealth isn't just about solving problems. It's about creating systems that keep running even when they step away. Jeff Bezos doesn't pack boxes in Amazon warehouses. Elon Musk isn't on the factory floor building Teslas. Warren Buffett doesn't run every company Berkshire owns. They hire, delegate, and create processes so their businesses function without them doing every job. Automation protects their time, which is their most valuable resource. You can make more money, but you can never get back wasted hours. This is why people who build businesses often end up richer than those who work jobs, even if they work fewer hours. The systems work for them, day and night.
What we're really focused on is thinking long term, putting the customer at the center of our universe, and inventing. Those are the 3 big ideas to think long term, because a lot of invention doesn't work. If you're going to invent, it means you're going to experiment. You have to think long term.
At this point, billionaires face 2 choices: keep running the machine or cash out. Many take the acquisition route. Instagram sold to Facebook for $1 billion. PayPal sold to eBay for $1.5 billion, with Elon Musk walking away with $165 million. These exits turn years of building into instant life-changing wealth. Others, like Buffett or Arnault, keep their empires, letting the profits compound year after year while they work on new ventures or simply enjoy their lives. But here's the lesson most people miss. It was never just about the money. Money at this level is only a tool, a number on a screen. What truly matters is the freedom it creates. The ability to do what you want, when you want, without asking permission or checking your bank balance. The freedom to take risks, buy time back, and live life on your term.
Say, well, what's the difference between really believing in your ideals and sticking to them versus pursuing some unrealistic dream that doesn't actually have merit? And that is a really difficult thing to tell. Can you tell the difference between those 2 things?
Right.
So you need to be sort of very rigorous in your self-analysis. I think certainly extremely tenacious, and then just work like hell.
So how do you start moving toward this mindset today? Stop chasing dollars. Start chasing problems. Look at your community, your industry, or even your daily frustrations. What do people complain about? What slows them down? What would they pay to have fixed? Billionaires became billionaires because they asked those questions relentlessly, and they built scalable automated solutions around the answers. Even if you aren't building the next Amazon or Tesla, the same principle applies to any career. Solve more problems at work, bring in solutions that save or make your company money, and you gain leverage to increase your salary, secure bonuses, or even build your own side business. Every dollar of wealth begins with a problem someone will pay to fix. At the end of the day, money is not the destination. Freedom is. The ability to wake up and choose how you spend your hours, to travel, to create, to take care of your family, and never have to worry about whether the bills are paid. That kind of freedom comes from solving problems, scaling solutions, and building systems that protect your time. You can start developing scalable skills too, ones that earn even while you're away from the screen. If you have a laptop, Wi-Fi, and just a few hours each day, Matt Parr's Tube Mastery and Monetization course can help you build faceless YouTube channels that generate passive income. These systems are designed to scale and run without you having to do everything yourself, creating income streams that keep working while you're on vacation or relaxing at home. The link is in the description. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and leave a comment telling us what problems you see in the world that you think are worth solving. We create documentary-style videos on business, finance, and life, so subscribe and turn on all notifications to catch the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay focused, stay curious, and take action.